in the profession. I am pleased to stand in front of you to share with you a few ideas regarding the 70 years of the existence of our law society. Let me assure you that I was in existence before the society. So at least for that 10 years I was in existence, I am therefore qualified to talk about this TLS in that perspective. I wish to take this opportunity to congratulate you, Mr. President, and the members of your council and the Secretariat for putting the great importance in this event. 70 years is a long time, and we can proudly say that our society has come of age. We are proud of it. In my short presentation, I shall be looking at the important events which have shaped in one way or another the Tanganyika Law Society, hereinafter referred to simply as TLS, from its inception to the present time. TLS, of course, is a creature of statute. It was established on 1st of January 1955 by the Tanganyika Law Society Act, Cap 307. And I think it's good to reflect on the main objectives, a few of them, because of what is going to be happening in our discussions later. One of them was to maintain and improve the standards of conduct and learning of legal profession in Tanzania. 2, to facilitate the acquisition of legal knowledge by members of the legal profession and others. 3, to assist the government and the courts in all matters affecting legislation and the administration and practice of the law in Tanzania. 4, to represent, protect, and assist members of the legal profession in Tanzania as regards conditions of practice and otherwise. And 5, to protect and assist the public in Tanzania in all matters touching ancillary or incidental to the law. Dear colleagues, it is very clear from the aims of this legislation that TLS was conceived of not only as an institution to foster and protect public interest, private interests. No. It was conceived of as an institution that would play a significant part in the administration of justice in the whole country. It was also envisaged that the Law Society would come to the assistance of all members of our country in the protection of their rights. And as we say, that is what is underlined when we speak of equal justice for all. So this was foreseen. So in tandem with the said legislation, the government also enacted the Advocates Act, Cap 341. This act is regulatory in nature and makes provision for lawyers to be admitted to practice as advocates. The main organs of this act are the Advocates Committee, the Council of Legal Education, and the role of advocates. We'll have a look at this a bit later on. At the time of independence, on 9th of December 1961, there were only 24 advocates on the roll. And of these 24 advocates, only 2 were Africans. However, by the end of 1977, the number of advocates had grown to 75, and of course most of these were now Tanzanians of African origin. The relevance of this number 75 will be shown in the events of 1977, which threatened the existence of legal practice in Tanzania. In 1965, most of you may recall that the country was the country received what we call the Arusha Declaration. This Arusha Declaration changed the political trajectory of Tanzania completely. The administration of the country was now dictated by socialist principles, and private enterprise as such was frowned upon. One of the institutions which appeared to be out of harmony with socialism was legal practice. Thus, in the year 1976-77, the government established the Judicial System Review Commission, which was commonly known as the Msekwa Commission, and the objects of which main object was to examine the broad aspects of the administration of justice in Tanzania and make appropriate recommendations. The Commission presented its report in 1977, and one of its recommendations was the abolition of private legal practice. Abolition of private legal practice naturally also meant that the TLS was to be established, to be abolished. Now, taking into consideration that as of the end of 1977, there were only 75 advocates on the roll, it is difficult to appreciate that the practice posed any threat to the socialist aspirations of the country. I personally knew Pius Msekwa very well at the time. I knew him as a level-headed person, and when this recommendation came and it had his signature on it, I was quite surprised. All the same, legal practice during the period from 1977 to 1980 was embroiled in uncertainty, fear, and despondency. Fortunately, the government decided that private legal practice should continue, and thereby rejecting the recommendation which had been made by the Msekwa Commission. Because the threat was no longer there, then the way was really open and clear for the practice to grow. By 1999, the number of advocates on the roll had risen to 475. Of these, only 52 were women, representing just over 10%. The slow growth of Tanganyika law society was mainly due to the procedure of admission of advocates for the entire period ending year 2007. The procedure, as you may recall, required a lawyer intending to practice as an advocate to undergo internship program. The internship program was arranged in such a way that the lawyer had to spend 3 months, at least 3 months, in the office of the Attorney General. After that, another 3 months in the chambers of practicing advocates. Now, this system was not very satisfactory because there was no uniformity in the knowledge that was being acquired by these lawyers who were intending to be advocates. I know it because I was on the Council of Legal Education for over 10 years, and we were interviewing those lawyers who were who had petitioned to be enrolled as advocates. And you could see the disparity amongst these candidates. It was very glaring. Fortunately, in the year 2007, the system of internship was brought to an end, in May actually, when the government established the law school of Tanzania. This was established by Act number 425 of year 2007. Now, from that time, lawyers graduating from law schools were required, if they wanted to work in government or as advocates, they were required to undergo 1 year in the School of Law. Although there were some teething problems when the School of Law started, so much so that we on the council had to make some interventions, but the law school has done well, and as a result, we have seen a very good increase in the numbers of practitioners. When TLS held its annual general meeting in Arusha, for example, in the year 2017, a total number of 2,016 advocates were in attendance. This was the first time that we recorded over 2,000 advocates attending an annual general meeting. Since then, of course, the numbers have skyrocketed, and gone are the days when, as some of you may recall, we used to hold our AGMs in court number 1 of the High Court Registry in Dar es Salaam. That was our hall. We used to hold our AGM in there. As of now, the number of advocates on the roll stands at 11,782. And out of these, 5,859 are males and 4,333 are females. And this represents the females. The women lawyers now constitute about 37% of the total membership of the society. This is a phenomenal increase. Besides the increase in numbers, TLS has shown that it is a vibrant society in many ways. For example, starting in year 2000, TLS introduced the program of continuing legal education. We didn't have this program before. The Canadian Bar Association was very instrumental in the introduction of this program in TLS. They actually sent some of their own experts to sit with our secretariat in the year 2000, and we adopted that. And as of now, of course, CLE program is now compulsory for all our members. Another sign of vibrancy is the introduction of the regulations, the Tanganyika Law Society Ethics Regulations, Government Notice number 602 of 2022. Prior to this, we did have ethics, but they were not really codified and they didn't have the force of law. But starting from the year 2022, ethics, the regulations, they now have the full force of law. and that is where we stand. Now, as the saying goes by Wahenga, barabara nzuri haikosi kona. So, TLS has its own ups and downs. It has had its own setbacks. But in every setback, I think TLS has emerged stronger, not only in terms of its commitment to the administration of justice and the promotion of the rule of law, but also in the growth of its members. It has continued to grow. It has defied all the odds against it, and it is standing very firm. And the presence of our presence here this morning and today, and starting from Monday actually, is testimony of that fact, that TLS is strong and will remain strong. However, we do have challenges which we need to look at honestly and fearlessly. One of the challenges is the integrity of the society. The integrity of the society is reflected in the integrity of its members. Too often we have heard of complaints of lawyers being paid by their clients to act for them, but no action is taking place. Even the fees are not refunded. Now this gives the society a bad name. We must be vigilant about integrity. Secondly, there is that tendency that the perception that TLS is a club of intellectuals whose main interest is to protect themselves and to project the image of learned people, untouchable, and that of. Now, to the ordinary person, we need to clear this perception. We have, and this is probably the only law society which is required to give pro bono services, and we have done that, but that has not been enough. I think we need to publicize our pro bono services. We need to tell the public that we are there for them, that on certain days, on certain occasions, we will meet and deliver advice, consultation, and legal services to them as they require. So in order for this to be effective, we may have to engage the media also, so that they help us in this, in propagating the message that TLS is a public institution and is committed to seeing to it that every one of us has equal access to justice. As I said, TLS is now a robust institution, and its members must be vigilant in guarding its independence and integrity. We must all feel very jealous of our society. We must feel that we own it, complete ownership and protection. So, besides the Wakili House, I think TLS should consider making investments in some strategic economic ventures. This will also clear our image in society. We'll project ourselves as active members in society. We are not only interested in the legal aspects of life, but we must see to it that the economy of the country benefits all of us. And we have to look into that as lawyers. Members of the profession, I thank you for your attention. My speech is only to kind of trigger some discussions among ourselves, and to look at ourselves again and say, hey, we are now 70 years old, what have we done? I want to go forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senior Council Ngalo, for a wonderful presentation. Naomba tumpigie makofi tena. Ni ya muhimu sana, na naamini hii lazima itunzwe kwa ajili ya generation zinazokuja, kuendelea kuimarisha uzalendo kwenye society, watu wazidi kuipenda society. Imagine kama mlianzia kwenye chamber 1 mkaenda baadaye British Council, mmekwenda mpaka leo tupo huko. Haikuwa safari fupi, ilikuwa ni safari ambayo ndefu, lakini tunashukuru sana kwa kazi ambayo